Welcome to Sports World Have Your Say with me, Amanda Davis. It's been a week of big headlines and big issues coming up. Suarez says sorry, but is it too little too late?
And to do that, it's a disgrace to Liverpool Football Club. They really should get rid of him. That's my opinion.
Redknapp's the man of the moment, but is he the man for England?
You know, we want a Champions League football at least this year now, and that's what I've got to focus on.
And we're gearing up for the decider at the Africa Cup of Nations as the Copper Bullets look to stop the Elephants in their tracks. We'll have fans in both Zambia and Ivory Coast watching that one. I've got the former Sierra Leone manager Leroy Rossinho with me in the studio this week, waiting to speak to you once again. And there's been plenty of you getting in touch already from the United States, Jamaica, Germany, Ethiopia and Nigeria, to name just a few. Do keep those comments coming in to all the usual places via Twitter, Facebook, Skype, email, or why not pick up the phone and give us a call. We'll get through as many of your points as we can in the next hour or so. But before we go any further, let's get a summary of the latest news. You're watching Sports World Have Your Say. One story dominating the back pages of the papers here in England today, the fallout from events at Old Trafford. But we are building up to the final of the Africa Cup of Nations. Kickoff in about 25 minutes in Libreville as Zambia prepare to take on the pre-tournament favourites, the Ivory Coast. I've got Gretford, who is a Zambian living in London, with me in the studio, and we've got Uche, who's actually a Nigerian supporting the Ivory Coast. Leroy Rossinho is with me as well. Gretford, big game today. How do you rate the Zambian chances? How much of a chance of causing an upset?
It's not a question of causing an upset. I think they've earned it by right. You know, the fact that they've gone to the final, it means they are good enough. So the best team will win.
OK, well, let's bring in Alex Capstick, the BBC's correspondent, who is outside the ground in Libreville for us. Alex, what's the atmosphere like?
Well, it's very noisy right now. The announcer is reading out the names of the players who will be starting the match. We just had an opening ceremony for the final game, which was quite good fun, actually. Lots of singing and dancing and very good graphics as well. The crowd seemed to enjoy it. So the atmosphere building up nicely, and it looks like it's going to be a full house here at the Friendship Stadium, just on the outskirts of Libreville, for this game between Ivory Coast and Zambia. It's not the final that most people had predicted before this tournament. Everyone thought that Ivory Coast would reach the final with all their stars, but nobody really suspected that the Zambians would get here. And when they took on Ghana in the semi-final, we all thought it was a final. The collision course between Ghana and Ivory Coast was going to happen, but Zambia got in the way. They won that semi-final by a goal to nil. And talking to the Zambian fans coming to the game, they say it's no fluke their team have reached the final. They've been together now for 8 years. They're a tight unit. They know each other. Their preparation has been absolutely spot on. They've got a good coach in Harry Redknapp, the Frenchman, and they expected their team to get to the final, and they expect their team to push Ivory Coast all the way in this match this evening.
I might be catching you slightly on the hop here. I know you said they're just reading out the teams, but have you got any team news for us?
I don't have any at the moment. They were given to the press just as I was coming down to talk to you, so I don't know. I can tell you for certain that Didier Drogba will be captain of the Ivory Coast team, and Chris Katonga will captain the Zambia team. I don't think there'll be too many surprises this evening. Both coaches have a full squad to pick from, so they'll pick their strongest team. I think what is interesting for the Zambians, for Hervé Renard, is whether, you know, he started the game against Ghana with a fairly defensive lineup, and it didn't work. And it was only when he went on the offensive in the second half that Zambia came into the game, and they got that goal, of course, through Mayuko with 12 minutes remaining. No surprise, I think, how Ivory Coast will play this game. It'll be the same they played throughout this tournament. It's been efficient, it's been pragmatic, and it's been very, very clinical. 9 goals, 4 none against. They've been very, very impressive. They haven't set the world alight. They haven't played beautiful football, but they've been far too good for their opponents so far. And a lot of people here think they'll be far too good for Zambia this evening.
Alex, you said that the Ivory Coast have been pragmatic. You know, in previous tournaments, they've been a little bit blasé. Do you think that's been important to them getting to the final this year?
Absolutely, and the players would tell you that as well. In fact, Didier Drogba said in an interview just a few days ago that this team full of great players, world-class stars like himself, have been guilty in the past of being too proud, of underestimating the opposition, and they were determined not to do that this time. They got Francois Zawi, a local coach, the first time the Ivorians have had a local coach since 1992 when they won the Cup of Nations, and you sense that there is a steely determination in the squad. I've seen them train a few times, and they begin their training session standing in a circle, holding hands, praying, and they're absolutely silent. And that's just, I think, just an example of the togetherness of this team. And you can tell the way they play as well. They're not really interested in playing beautiful football, of attacking all the time. They're interested in winning, a couple of 1-0 victories, and that's what they've done. And I think, yes, they have learned from their mistakes of the past, and they are determined not to repeat those mistakes, which is why they're such hot favourites this evening.
Alex, let me introduce you to Gretford, as I said, a Zambian fan with us in the studio. Gretford, have you got anything that you want to ask Alex, who's been out there for the whole tournament?
Hi, Alex. I just want to say that, rightly observed, Ivory Coast has got big-name players, but has it eluded your mind that Zambia may not have big-name players, but they've got big team killers because they are playing as a unit? They may not have big-name players playing in Europe, but they're playing for each other and playing for the nation.
Well, you're right, yes. Zambia have got one player that plays in Europe, and that was the scorer, Emmanuel Muka, who got that goal against Ghana. He plays in Switzerland for Young Boys of Bern. He's the only one that plays in Europe. The rest play in either South Africa, in Zambia, a couple play in DR Congo. The captain, Chris Katonga, plays in China. Another player is in China as well. So, yes, it's a team that is relatively inexperienced playing at the highest level. And when I mean the highest level, I mean playing against other players from Europe, the biggest leagues in the world. And they have proven that they are a match for those teams. They played...
Oh, I think we've sadly lost Alex there. There is about 20 minutes to go until kickoff in Libreville. Loads of you have been getting in touch with your predictions. Tijani Lawal on Facebook says, I'm a neutral fan here, but I'd love the Chipolopolo of Zambia to win the trophy for the first time. I want the shock of the tournament to be complete. Nosuki Sitali makes that point that you were making there, Gretford, actually. Names against a team, go Zambia, go. And Nosuki Sitali also says, no coincidence the tournament's in Gabon. God is on our side. We are the winners. So kick-off about 20 minutes away there. Please do get in touch with any points you want us to make. Who do you think will win? But we're going to move on to events at Old Trafford yesterday, or in fact the updates today, because apologies have been somewhat like buses after the poisonous atmosphere at the game yesterday, where Luis Suarez refused to shake hands with Patrice Evra, the first time actually that they met since the Uruguayan was handed an 8-match ban. Both Liverpool Football Club, through their managing director Ian Ayre, and Luis Suarez and Kenny Dalglish have all offered apologies. Let's start with the Suarez apology. He gave this via the Liverpool website and said, I've spoken with the manager since the game at Old Trafford. I realise I got things wrong. I've not only let him down, but also the club and what it stands for. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. I regret what happened. I should have shaken Patrice Evra's hand before the game, and I want to apologise for my actions. I'd like to put this whole issue behind me and concentrate on playing football. But those who write the Liverpool website have been pretty busy today. The Liverpool manager, Kenny Dalglish, then a little bit later also went on to apologise, saying Ian Ayre has made the club's position absolutely clear. It is right that Luis Suarez has now apologised for what happened at Old Trafford. To be honest, I was shocked to hear that the player had not shaken hands, having been told earlier in the week that he would do. But as Ian said earlier, all of us have a responsibility to represent this club in a fit and proper manner, and that applies equally to me as Liverpool manager. When I went on TV after yesterday's game, I hadn't seen what happened, but I didn't conduct myself in a way befitting of a Liverpool manager during that interview, and I would like to apologise for that. Manchester United have since issued their own statements saying that they accept the apologies and now want to move forward themselves and get on with football. Ronald has joined us, a Liverpool fan based in Nairobi. Wayne is with us as well, founder of the Seven Cantonars blog. He joins us from Manchester. Ronald, those events yesterday, did they make you proud to be a Liverpool fan?
No, whatever Suarez did not make me proud to be a Liverpool fan. He would have shaken Patrice Evra's hand to show sportsmanship and to show that he was past what happened before his 8-match ban and £40,000 fine.
And Wayne, after those apologies today, too little, too late, or a step in the right direction as far as you're concerned?
Well, I have to be honest. I'm not convinced with Suarez or Dalglish's behaviour, but at least we've seen a real response from Liverpool, the club themselves, with a statement from Ian Ayre. Whether that was a response to the New York Times article, we don't know, but it's good to see the club responding. Kenny acknowledges that he behaved inappropriately in his comments, and Suarez's apology was welcome, but it still feels as if they're avoiding apologising to United, and more importantly, Patrice Evra. United, they accepted the apology, and to be fair, we and I, as United fans, should be moving on. My own website, as a result of United's statement, we probably will be moving on, and we've covered it extensively. But it will take Liverpool Football Club a lot longer to move on and repair their reputation. They're the ones who dragged it on by making ridiculous public statements, and if they make any more, then I wouldn't be surprised to see the club shift one or both of Dalglish or Suarez on before next season.
Ronald, Leroy here. Now, I've just wondered, you said that Man United have accepted the apology, and I think it is a step in the right direction. But from my point of view, until Luis Suarez accepted that he has done something wrong, this will go on, and I don't think it will be resolved. Do Man United supporters and yourself feel that way?
Yeah, I feel
I feel that would be good.
Oh,
sorry.
Wayne, do you want to just answer that point?
Yeah, I kind of do. I do feel that way because, Suarez hasn't apologised directly to Evra, and I think that he and Liverpool do have a responsibility to do that. I don't think that they will do that now because today's events have probably seen the last that we're going to see in regards to public statements. But I wouldn't be. There's going to be a lingering bad blood there because I don't expect Liverpool to apologise. But like I said, I don't expect, with regards to Liverpool's public stand on it today, I'd be surprised if Suarez is there next season.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about that in just a couple of minutes. Loads of you have been sending in messages on Twitter and Facebook. Bittersweet 140 says none of them apologised to Evra, only each other and the club. Zola was God on Twitter. Wonder which club he supports. Says still no apology for the racist abuse, though. What do you think? Please do get in touch. All the usual ways available. We're going to be back in just a couple of minutes. You're watching Sports World Have Your Say. Amidst all the emotion and events at Old Trafford on Saturday, you could be forgiven for forgetting that Manchester United came out as 2-1 winners. Manchester City, though, back at the top of the table after their 1-0 win over Villa today. West Brom 5-1 winners at Wolves in the other game, and Leroy, big pressure on the bottom there on Mick McCarthy after that.
Certainly it is. There was a woeful performance, absolutely terrible. And in the local derby as well, Mick McCarthy actually came out and apologised after the game. I've never seen him do that before, and I just feel that he's under pressure now, and he really does need to get a result in the next game, otherwise he's going to be out of a job.
The other big result yesterday, Chelsea beaten by Everton, just briefly. Yeah,
Everton were poor. Everton were great, Chelsea were really poor. AVB took responsibility for it, and he had to because the players just didn't do it for him.
You're watching Sports World. Have your say. Loads of you getting in touch on the Suarez Evra affair. Shivam in Dubai has used the hashtag SWHYS on Suarez apology. It's far too late. Should have happened 8 weeks ago and directly to Evra. Robert got in touch on Twitter saying Suarez was wrong. Glad he's realised that and apologised. England job is complicated. We're going to be talking about that in a little while as well. We've got Wayne with us, founder of the Seven Cantonars blog. He suggested that after the comments out of Anfield today that Luis Suarez will not be at Liverpool next season. But Sir Alex Ferguson was a little bit stronger than that post-match.
I thought it was a disgrace. And when Patrice said, we had words in the morning, Patrice said, I'm keeping my dignity, I'm shaking his hand. I've nothing to be ashamed of. And to do that, it's a disgrace of Liverpool Football Club. They really should get rid of him. That's my opinion. Is the history that club's got, and he does that. In an atmosphere like today, an atmosphere and all the build-up to the game, all the profiles going on in the match, and he does that, is a disgrace to that football club.
Ronald is with us. Do you think Luis Suarez should play for Liverpool again?
Yeah, he should play for Liverpool again. With the fact that he's realised his mistake is a good step forward. So him playing for Liverpool again is still, on my personal remarks, he should continue in the club. He's doing well at the club and the club needs his services.
It's interesting you say that, Ronald, because I think that he kind of has taken all the kind of attention away from Patrice Evra, who's a victim in this, and he's trying to make out that he's the victim, and he should be the one who should have apologised when it happened. This certainly wouldn't have happened. And there's a great saying that somebody said to me yesterday. It's not about the name on the back, it's about the name on the front. And Liverpool Football Club has been kind of pulled through the absolute mire in this because of one player. So I'd be surprised if they'll be thinking again about whether his worth on the pitch is more important than what he does off the pitch, because this isn't something that has just happened here. It's also happened to a certain extent in Dutch football. So I just wondered if you think that that might have something to do with Liverpool's statement today.
Yeah, it might have something to do with Liverpool's statement today. But personally, honestly speaking, I don't think it's right for Liverpool to disown Suarez at this time. Yes, he did something very wrong. He's admitted it. The next thing he should do, he should personally apologise to Patrice Evra, and the Football Federation should take it from his good heart and let everything go so that football can come back to what people know what it is.
Uche, do you want to see him in a Liverpool shirt again?
Yeah, I want to see Suarez.
Well, no, I actually think they should look for a way to offload Suarez. He is not to be trusted. He is a very erratic person. I understand that before the game, he said to the team that he was going to shake hands with Evra. But when he got on the pitch, what did he do? He went and did something different. So his apologizing doesn't mean anything. He will still be the bad person that he is and the disgrace to that historic club that he has turned out to be. I mean, look at what he did with Scott Parker just a couple of days before that, just because Scott Parker was doing his job in the midfield. So he's a vindictive person, a very petty, childish person. I don't even want to call him a professional. Now, Liverpool is a historic club. It's a brand, and Suarez needs to understand that. Suarez doesn't fit that brand.
Uche, what do you think about Kenny Dalglish's role in all this? He hasn't handled it very well, and he's backed himself into a corner right from the start.
Yeah, I think Kenny has backed himself into a corner because right from the beginning, I didn't think Kenny Dalglish was handling Suarez very well. And if he doesn't handle Suarez very, very well, he risks also other players on the squad being unruly and beginning to misbehave because he's not able to discipline Suarez. Now, I think Dalglish should come out and tell us what the disciplinary measure from within Liverpool Football Club will be for Suarez for failing to shake hands with Evra after promising the team that he was going to shake hands with Evra once he got out on the pitch. So Kenny Dalglish is going too lenient with this guy, and it's going to unravel the whole of, it's threatening to unravel the whole of Liverpool for the rest of the season. And I think they lost the game to Manchester United because of Suarez distracting them from the job they had to do.
Ronald?
Yeah, I also believe that is true. Kenny Dalglish, as a manager, should take precautions. He should discipline Suarez in what he did. Suarez is a player, and he should know he's not the only Liverpool player in that club. There are also other players, and football is a never-man effort. He should also participate as everyone else, so that the club can get better results. What he did is unacceptable, though I still don't believe he should be laid off as a Liverpool player.
We've been talking about whether Liverpool and Dalglish should sanction Suarez again. Freeman Kariri Ngara says there's no place for people like Suarez in football. The FA is taking too long to deal with issues like this. Do you think they should take any more action after yesterday? What does it mean for their Respect campaign, for example, Uche?
Well, they should take a cue from what Mancini did with the Argentine. I don't want to even mention his name. They cut his pay at Man City. They cut his pay. They put him on the bench. They got him frustrated. You know, people just need to learn
I think
that they are not beyond discipline. They are not above the law. So they should do, I think I'm prescribing for Suarez the treatment that they gave the Argentine at Man City, so that he learns that he needs to accord with the rules of the game. He needs to understand that it's a game. You can't bring this much vindictiveness and pettiness and all of that to the game. You destroy the beauty of the game. And
Uche,
the club needs to do something. Cut his pay.
Uche, I think really do feel what Luis Suarez needs to learn is that he was found guilty of racially abusing another player, and accept that he's done something wrong and apologise for that. And he needs to learn why that is wrong, because I feel at this moment in time that he won't accept that. And I think that's a real lesson he needs to learn, and he needs some education as to why that is happening and why this is blown up in his face.
I don't think he apologised. I think somebody just wrote a script and gave him to cram and then say something. That statement is not coming from Suarez. If you know the kind of person that he's shown himself in the media to be, he's a very vindictive, childish, petty person. And he is not able to apologise for his actions.
Uche, let me bring you this though. Ojok Robert from Uganda
is not in any way sorry for his actions. But just to put something...
Uche, let me give you this. Ojok Robert from Uganda on Facebook has said Suarez is the player who has made the Premier League resurrected after Mourinho's exit from Chelsea. I just love the Premiership with his current situation. We can enjoy the show. How about that for a view on English football?
I think that's cynical. That's not the kind of resurrection we want. The game was just fine. It was beautiful before he came on the scene. We want the beauty of the game back. We don't want more off the pitch than on the pitch, and even on the... We don't want this bad press. We want the beauty of the... And there are children, by the way, there are children watching this game from Nigeria. There are children watching from England, and these guys are supposed to be role models. They are supposed to be what we want our children, and the children watch them and think, okay, well, that's acceptable behavior. That's not correct. So we need to take a stand against the sort of unruliness, this sort of vindictiveness. It's not just, it's a fair game.
Okay,
and so I don't agree
for now, thank you. Uche, for now, thank you very much. We can see the teams are on the pitch at the Africa Cup of Nations final in Libreville. Zambia gearing up to face the Ivory Coast. Please do get in touch. What do you think is going to happen over the next 90 minutes or so? Don't go anywhere. You're watching Sports World Have Your Say. The final of the Africa Cup of Nations has just kicked off in Libreville. Zambia up against the pre-tournament favourites, the Ivory Coast. Zambia looking to win for the first time. The Elephants looking for their first victory since 1992. I've got former Sierra Leone manager Leroy Rosinho with me here in the studio. Gretford is a Zambian fan based in London. And Gretford, you said earlier you were happy to be in the final, but after that opening couple of minutes, maybe a little bit more than that from Zambia.
Oh yeah, like I said, the team, the players are playing for each other, you know, and at the rate they're going, I wouldn't be surprised if they win the tournament.
Well, let's welcome Charles to the conversation, an Ivory Coast fan based in Maryland. Charles, what are your hopes? How much of a chance have you got? Or are you going to fall to the curse of the favourites in this tournament?
Oh, you know, we've been wishing that Ivory Coast goes to the final right now, but we already know that we're about to win this cup because we deserve it. Our country has been through a lot of things, a lot of wartime and etc. So right now we are just experiencing right now the rebirth of the Ivory Coast through the winning against this country. Zambia is pretty tough, but we expect more. We expect more from our team because we are stronger.
It sounds like you've got a bit of a party going on there. How many of you are there?
Oh, we are like 12 or 14, something like this, but we have more people coming. So basically it's like an African ambience because we're going to have several people from different places, but we are just enjoying the show. Even if we lose, it's just a game. But we wish that we're going to win though.
Well, we've got Gretford, the Zambian, with us in the studio. Have you got a message for him?
Tell him he should keep the pêche. As we say in French, he should garder la pêche because we already know we're gonna win. But it can be hope. It needs hope. It can be hopeful, but we just watching the thing. It's gonna be hard. Tell him to be okay, to be happy because they're gonna lose with fierce.
Gretford?
With fierce, you know. It's gonna be happy. They're gonna be happy to lose even if we're gonna win.
Well, if we lose, we'll lose magnanimously. But I've got to say to you, we respect the opposition, especially that you haven't conceded a goal so far. But it's too close to call, and I predict it 1-0 to Zambia.
Okay, we have 3-0 to us because we know that we're gonna win. We're just playing around with you guys because we are already winners. You can keep dreaming, it's okay.
Charles, I tell you what, Charles, you better be worried because Zambia should be 1-0 up. Sinclair's has had a great chance. Boubacar Barry's made a great save, and Zambia started the best in this game. So I'd be a little bit more concerned if I was you.
You know, I'm confident because I know my team. I know my team. We have strong people playing all around in Europe. You have people playing in Chelsea. You have DJ Drogba. We have people like this. We don't need to have fear. Fear of a little country like Zambia? I mean, I'm sorry. You don't have a strong team.
Why haven't you won it before then? You've had all these players. Why haven't you won it before? Why have you not got to the final?
Well, because we know we're just doing selections. We don't go every day on this. You know, we are priceless. So we just go all around. We don't share our place with our team like this. We just like to enjoy the show. It's just
I hate to tell you, Charles, all the tweets coming in, a large majority of them are plumping for the other side. Malumba has tweeted using the hashtag SWHYS. Chipolopolo, let's do this. Zambia, bring that cup home. Tom's tweeted saying, to say I'm excited about the Africa Cup of Nations final would be a massive understatement. Abdugulfa in Nigeria tweets, Zambia play ball with hope and determination. With old hope, they'll win over Ivory Coast. And Anthony in Malawi has said on our Facebook page, love to see Zambia winning. A great way to honour their brothers of that crash. Go, 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 Zambia. I suppose, Gretford, let me come to you there and just tell us what this would mean given what happened those 18, 19 years ago.
Wow. This is very poignant, I mean, for the Zambian national soccer team to be playing in this final in the city of Libreville, the place where an entire team was wiped And the following year, we still made the finals of the same tournament. It's a very emotive thing, even for me, you know, so it will mean a lot for the country. And credit to the whole country for rallying behind the team, rebuilding a team, going to the finals a year after the crash. We lost momentum. Who wouldn't under such circumstances anyway? But here we are again in the final. It speaks a lot about the kind of support the team gets back home.
Yeah, well, Mustafa in Nigeria has tweeted us saying, "My money's on Zambia. I wish them the best of luck. That would be a great way to honour their fallen heroes." Sammy in Tanzania says on Facebook, "If Zambia wins, it means it will bring the respect that the Southern African country lost, but also if the Elephants win, they'll bring peace to their homeland, which is more important." Let's welcome Abonjo to the conversation, a Nigerian Arsenal fan. Who's your money on for the next 90 minutes?
I have to tell you, but my money is on Zambia. I think they've got the passion, they've got the determination, but I also believe in Kama. I mean, you've already said it, 18 years ago, Zambia lost all its players, and I just believe this is the right opportunity for Zambia to actually win. I actually would go a step further and say that this is a match between Africa and Europe, because Ivory Coast has lots of its players playing in Europe, whereas in the Zambian team, they've got lots of local African players. And my money is on Zambia, and I think if they win, it's going to be a very tremendous celebration. It will be as close as South Africa hosting the World Cup. That's the way I see it.
OK, well, we're about 10 minutes in Libreville. Gretford and Charles are going to shout if anything happens to keep us up to date. We're going to go back to the discussion we were having about the fallout from events at Old Trafford. Sean is with us, a Spurs fan. Abonjo, as well as being Nigerian, is actually an Arsenal fan, so we'll get the view of the neutrals. But let's bring in a tweet from that man Mario Balotelli. How many times has he featured this season so far? He says, "If I was in Suarez boots and got banned for 8 games for something I didn't do, I wouldn't shake Evra's hand either." Sean, have you got a view on that?
I don't think that's particularly helpful from Mario Balotelli this evening. Suarez has been found guilty by the Football Association. The ball was in his court. Evra offered the hand. Apologies are no good in my mind. The whole thing could have been avoided weeks ago if Liverpool had been stronger. The message came in this evening from the very top of the club. Dalglish has been told off, if you like, and the apologies have come, but I think it's been mismanaged from Liverpool from day one. And I think Suarez has just shown himself to be immature and lacking in class throughout the whole affair. The apology, as the gent said earlier, doesn't mention Patrice Evra by name, and I think it's a hollow apology.
Sean, you said that Suarez has been childish and lacking in class. Does that apply to Kenny Dalglish as well?
Definitely. I think Kenny Dalglish's interview yesterday was pathetic. I understand that Kenny's been under a lot of pressure. He's an old-school football manager. He thinks you stand by your players, and I accept that. But someone above Dalglish, someone at the very top, the Americans that run Liverpool, should have had a word with Kenny and said, "Kenny, this player has misbehaved. You're the football manager. We need to make a stand." It's certainly too late, these statements in my mind. And yet, yes, Leroy, I agree. I think Kenny's been poor throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, I think the management of Kenny is an interesting point as any in this. Bonjo, do you think there's anybody at Liverpool who is prepared to stand up and sort put him in his place?
Well, I'm not sure. I have been totally disappointed with Kenny Dalglish's response. And I think, actually, when I think about it, he came across as someone who is a manager stuck in the 80s. You know, there was a perfect opportunity. I think, you know, the brand in terms of Liverpool has been damaged. The brand in terms of the Premiership League has been damaged. Even Britain, I'll go as far as saying that Britain has been damaged as a result of this. Let's not forget that we've got the Olympics coming up soon, and we're going to have people from all sorts of countries coming to the UK. And so many people saw that on TV. It's a disgrace, a total disgrace. And for Liverpool to now produce a statement or an apology, it's just a missed opportunity, I'm afraid. I've got a 5-year-old son who's very much into match attack. where they buy, you know, cards for all the players. And he was in tears yesterday. You know, I don't think people understand the implications. And actually, thinking about it, a lot of the people were saying that Suarez were, if they were in Suarez's shoes, that they wouldn't properly shake his hands. These are foreign players, aren't they? These are people who don't understand the cultural sensitivities within the UK. And I'm quite pleased to see that the Prime Minister of Downing Street is taking action, because there's got to be a need to talk about football racism and the fact that it needs to be brought down to its bits. You know, we need to go back to football. We need to go back to enjoying football. But over the last couple of months, I've been disappointed, to say the least. Very, very disappointed.
Has to be said, there are a few people supporting Suarez on Twitter. Hawksley LFC 1977, he has nothing to apologise for. Innocent Suarez. Wade Rowlett, though, says he should never play in England again. Button76, using the hashtag SWHYS, says it's all too late. The disrepute he's brought to the team and game is unforgivable. That's the point you were making there, I suppose, not just disrepute to Liverpool, but to the English Premier League as a whole. We'll be talking about that and a whole lot more in just a couple of minutes. You're watching Sports World, have your say. Let's just head back to the events in Libreville. Leroy's been keeping an eye on it for us. How's it going, Leroy?
Well, firstly, Joseph Masondo for Zambia's had to go off. He's actually gone off in tears. You know, he's got injured and he's off within 15 minutes. But Zambia have had the best chance. It was a cross from the right ahead. I think it was Mayuka who had the header, just looped over the crossbar. I haven't seen a lot from the Ivory Coast from now. I think that confidence that Charles had earlier might be dissipating slightly. What do you think, Charles?
Charles!
Hey, excuse me. Hey, no problem. It's because Drogba has the ball. Let me tell you something. Right now, we are at the part where we're just analyzing the player games. We are just analyzing, because if we become too serious now, we're going to have too much a higher score. You know, we're going to have a too big score for them. So right now, we're just analyzing the adversity to see how easy they are or how difficult they are. So right now, we're just chilling. We having a draw score, but soon we're gonna be the winner. Don't worry about it.
I'm not worried, Charles. I'd be worried as you, because you're chilling around the edge of your box at the moment, and it's causing you a few problems.
You know, I have to tell you something. In my country, which is Ivory Coast again, we have a code saying we don't need to run after a snail, because we know we're gonna win. We don't need to move too much. We don't need to move. We don't need to shout, to scream, to be too nervous. We know that the game is already ours. So right now we're just analyzing the game. But we have to admit that Zambia have a very good game. They have a very good and tactical game right now. But they are not gonna win. Thank you.
Right. On that note, well, Ivory Coast, I suppose, are in a final in an international tournament, something England would love to be in. Talk this week, well, it's been an incredible week, really, for English football. Fabio Capello handed in his resignation. Harry Redknapp is the man who is apparently the favourite to take up the post. Talk that he will be approached officially by the Football Association this week. Is he the man for the job, Leroy?
Well, he is the man for the job, but I don't think it's a done deal. I really don't. You know, just watch Spurs perform yesterday, and they absolutely thrashed Newcastle. He was up off his seat and he was jumping around. I'm just wondering if he'll readily just leave that all behind for the England job. Now, the England job has been somewhat of a poison chalice, to say the least. And, you know, it's not a job that you can be easily successful. The only way you can be successful in the England job is to win the European Championships or the World Cup. Whereas Spurs, they could get in the Champions League. There's lots to look forward to. So he is the right man for the job. Is it a done deal? I'm not so sure.
Well, Sir Alex Ferguson says there's no doubt that Redknapp is the man, saying Harry is the best man. He has the experience and personality and the knowledge of the game. He's changed the fortunes of every club he's been at. He is the right choice. I suppose, Sean, that's something you don't really want to hear, is it?
No, I mean, firstly, the timing obviously is awful. Just a few months before the European Championships, England has no manager, no captain, and unfortunately for Tottenham Hotspur fans, this impacts on our club. As the outstanding candidate, in many people's eyes the only candidate, is Harry Redknapp. I was at White Hart Lane yesterday. As Leroy said, our performance was top class. It was a wonderful performance. The fans sung Harry Redknapp's name from start to finish. So I think when he does leave Tottenham, it will be with a heavy heart. But Harry's a man of a certain age, and I just think the England job, unfortunately, is going to be too good for him to turn down. He said yesterday in the press conference he won't leave Tottenham in the lurch. I think he'll stay until the end of the season. We're currently 10 points clear of Chelsea, 10 points clear of Arsenal. So the Champions League is a goal. But I think he'll finish this Premier League season in May. But I think he'll find a way somehow to get out of the Tottenham contract and somehow guide England to the Euros in the summer.
Yeah, it was quite a 5-0 drubbing of Newcastle yesterday. And afterwards, Harry insisted that his focus is still on Spurs.
We're going so well, and I've just got to focus on what's happening here. Really, we've got you know, Man United, Arsenal, Chelsea in the next few weeks. You know, we want a Champions League football at least this year now, and that's what I've got to focus on.
And why would you not want to manage Tottenham Hotspur when they play like that? I mean, fantastic.
Yeah, we play some great stuff, you know. And Adi Bayor tonight, he set the tone in that first 20 minutes. He was amazing, and everybody else as well behind him. It was just a great performance.
I know you've got to go, Harry, but can I just ask you before you do, has there been an approach to Tottenham Hotspur?
No, none whatsoever. None at all. No, not a thing. No, just concentrating on the job here, and we've not heard from anybody. No.
Bonjo, would you like to see Harry Redknapp in the England job?
For my own selfish reasons, because I'm an Arsenal fan. If they could give it to him straight away by tomorrow, then Tottenham will be lost, and we will end up coming third. I think, you know, it's overwhelming that the support is for Harry Redknapp. I'm not sure. I think we're going to be in a shock. It's not a done deal. I'm not sure whether he's going to take it. I'm going to say I don't think he's going to take it. But for my own selfish reasons, he should go. He should go to England, and Tottenham will fall by the wayside, and Arsenal will, you know, top four.
It'd be interesting. I know you're saying about Tottenham fall by the wayside of Bonjo, but Sean, I was having a discussion yesterday, and arguably Tottenham, man for man, are a better team than England. Would you agree with that? Why would he leave a team with the likes of Modric and Bale and players like that for an England team? He's not sure where they're going or how they're going to perform. And Harry likes the day-to-day business of the Premier League as well. What do you think, Sean? Don't you think he'd want to stay?
I think that... I think you're absolutely right. I think, you know, Tottenham have, and I'm an Arsenal fan, but I love football. So I think Tottenham have done pretty well this season. And I think, to be honest with you, it's not about the manager. It's not about whoever the manager is for England. It's about the players. I don't think the players play with passion. I don't think they play as a team. And I think, you know, we're not going into the root causes of the problem, why England is not playing at a level where they're actually winning and winning trophies. And I think it's not just about the manager. I think you need to look at the players, and the players are not doing as well as you would expect. They do better at their clubs rather than at international level. And we seem to have put that by the wayside, and everyone's talking about the manager. It's about the manager. It's not just about the manager. It's about the foundation. If you have a house, it's not just the roof. You look at the foundation as well. So I think there's some underlying problems that we still haven't resolved as a country in terms of England.
Duca Sonic's Saberto says, silly England, silly FA, foolish English media. Fabio Capello is a great coach, but had anti-football players with no talent. Picking up on that message from you there, Peter Stucksworth said Harry must stay at Spurs. Ian in Malawi has posted on Facebook, Harry is the right man for the job. When one's country requires one's services, you honour it. The Queen would be pretty pleased with that language there. But he's not the only man in the frame, is he, or is he? Jim Holden says in the Sunday Express that Redknapp is one of a few contenders. He says in any other country in world football, Roy Hodgson would be the obvious #1 candidate in the situation in which England currently find themselves suddenly without a boss a few months before a tournament. Do they go for a manager who has significant experience of this world, or do they go for the international novice? Abonjo.
Oof. It's a difficult one. You want a manager who is able to enthuse and motivate his team. And I think what is quite sad is the media seems to have made a decision who they're going to support. And you're absolutely right. There are other English managers, British managers, by the way, not just English, international managers who could confidently coach England. And I'm not sure why all of a sudden it's just Harry Redknapp and no one else. And that's, that needs to be looked at, because English managers or British managers are not coming through, just like England is not winning anything. So there are some, like I said, some underlying problems that need to be resolved. We should have at least 5 or 6 British or English coaches that we're basically saying, yeah, we've got a short list of 6, but we're just saying 1. That is sad for me as far as I'm concerned.
Sean, who would you like to see?
I'd like to see anyone other than Harry Redknapp. I think there aren't that many outstanding candidates. I think there's some good Scottish managers. David Moyes, who I'd personally like to see replace Harry, should Tottenham lose him to England. Obviously Sir Alex Ferguson, Arsene Wenger, a Frenchman, another good manager. But the top managers with Champions League experience aren't English. Roy Hodgson, he flopped somewhat at Liverpool. I don't think that was all his doing. He's rebuilt his career, somewhat at West Bromwich Albion. But I think the movement, the feeling in the nation, unfortunately, is that Harry Redknapp is the man for the job. Now he's...
Sean, I'm just going to butt in because we're running out of time. I'm afraid to say, Abonjo, that Happy Rock says take Wenger, send Capello to Arsenal, Harry Redknapp stays put, everybody wins. Owen, send my fee for solving your problem. But we're going to head back to Libreville. Alex Capstick is there watching the Africa Cup of Nations final for us. How's it going?
Yeah, no goals so far, approaching the half-hour mark in this match, but it's been a lively start by the Zambian team. They've taken the game to Ivory Coast, and they seem to have rattled the Elephants in this game, and they've been on the front foot for most of this first half. One bit of sad news for Zambia, though, their defender, Joseph Masunda, went off very early on, clutching his groin. He was in tears. Obviously, this is such a huge game for the team, but he hobbled off the pitch. He was actually hugged on the way out by Didier Drogba, which was a nice touch. But no goals so far.
Charles, you didn't agree with that, no?
Oh, no, I don't even agree with that. I have to say something. The Zambia's team is very stressed because I think it's the final cup, so probably they're very stressed, so they're playing kind of quick.
OK, I'm going to just quickly, Gretford, final word. What's the score going to be?
The score is going to be 1-0 to Zambia.
We don't need to say too much. We're just going to win.
OK, that is it. We are running out of time. Don't forget, you can keep up to date via the BBC Sport website. But thanks for all your contributions for another fun-packed show. See you next week. Goodbye.